we're very excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
This is the very first episode of Real Chats. It's a real estate community-based podcast/show that you and I created.
Yes.
Yes. So that we can come back every week and have conversations with our neighbors, our community, about what's happening in the very place that we call home. Not only real estate, but things in general that are happening. And for our very first episode, we have the marvelous, the amazing Aury Gonzalez. For those of you that don't know, Aury Gonzalez is our preferred lender at Movement Mortgage, and she grew up right here in Salem, Massachusetts.
That's right. Class of 98.
98. I was 99.
Yeah, we're right there.
Right. I remember seeing you in the hallway.
Yeah.
You and Alicia.
Oh,
always chilling. Always,
Yeah.
always. Hennessy, I love the fact that we have Aury here, but what is the number one question that everybody, doesn't matter if we're at Market Basket, that everybody asks?
How is the market?
How's the market? Like, we could hear that ad nauseum. So, Aury, let us know. What's the market? What's it
It
doing?
depends on who you ask. Depending on who you ask, the market can be great, the market not so great. So if you ask an investor, they're going to tell you, it's not so great for me, the interest rates are high, so when we're renting a property, we don't get the same return as if, the interest rates were lower. But then you ask the buyers, and although the buyers are a little bit concerned with the rates, we all know it's going to go back to normal.
Okay.
So why is the market great? Because at this point, as your expertise can, agree with me, is that you're seeing more negotiations. And, compared to a year ago where that was really not existent, now you can actually negotiate more better terms for the buyer. You can negotiate,
Even closing costs you can negotiate now.
you can negotiate closing costs, definitely. The buy downs are a really good new program that is very famous. I would say are more common than, I'm sure everybody here probably didn't really hear what a 2-buy down was till recently.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
The first time we heard it, we're like, wait, you can do what? Really?
yeah.
It's a great way to have buyers receive a lower interest rate,
Correct.
So explain a little bit. What is it exactly?
So a buy down, it's really, reducing your payment.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, to reduce your monthly payment, what would be equivalent to 2 points? Let's just say, for example, you're saving $500 a month if you had a lower rate. And again, I'm just putting numbers out there. And let's say you time that times 24 months or 2 years. Let's say if you're doing the two-year buy down, you would ask the seller to contribute, that that cost, and then what the bank will do is they'll apply that that amount towards your monthly payment every month for the next 24 months.
So it's like a credit. So
So
like the seller's giving you a credit, but you're seeing it monthly.
But you're seeing it monthly because
Got
the
it.
lender applies it on a monthly basis for you.
Okay.
Now, when the rates do go down, which they're projecting to get
course.
better and stabilize, once that's happened, let's say, for example, if towards the end of the year, we see a significant improvement in interest rate, then you can refinance, and whatever funds you have that haven't been applied to your mortgage from that buy down can actually go towards your principal.
Okay.
So you don't lose any of that credit that the seller, that you can negotiate with the seller.
And then so we would just ask for it in the terms, closing costs, right? And do we ask for it as terms of closing costs in the offer, or do we specifically
You
say?
specifically
Okay.
will say, if it's towards the closing cost, then, you have a verbiage for it. If it's towards the buy down, then, you'll be a little bit more specific towards the buy down.
Can the buyer do the buy down, or does it only come
The
from the seller?
buyer, no, the buyer can do a buy down as well.
Okay, so then in the event that we ask for closing costs, right, from the seller, the buyer could then theoretically use what they would have naturally brought to closing for their buy down.
They could.
Okay.
Yeah, they could
Okay.
use their own personal buy down. They could use a temporary, which is a 2-1 buy down. Those are temporary.
Gotcha.
But they can also do a long-term buy down, which is buying down the points.
Got it. Okay. And so now we're talking about, you're talking about the interest rates, and they're scary. Like one day they're up, another day they're low. It's like whiplash. Like when you're in the amusement park and you're like stop and go, stop.
Oh, trust me.
What is going on?
So, in the market that we're in, we're seeing inflation. So whenever you see inflation, when inflation goes up, your rates usually go up. Inflation comes down, rates come down. So it's gonna take a little bit of time for the market to stabilize. So as far as when it comes to inflation and everything that we're seeing in the market and why all the changes that we've seen that have impacted the mortgage industry. So that it's all going to be reliable upon how the market is doing. So rates go down, inflation goes down, and so forth.
Yeah, everything's expensive now.
So,
Everything.
but
Have you seen eggs?
Girl, I think buyers right now are like showing earnest money deposit with like a carton of eggs, okay? It's ridiculous.
So to elaborate a little bit more on the rates, I know it's scary right now, but also you can see how back in September, where the interest rates are on the 7s.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're starting to see that interest rates are on the low 6.
Yeah,
so
I remember in
that
September.
Is some improvement. I mean, within a very short time.
It's almost 1 whole percentage point.
Almost. Yes, almost. So which is a huge difference in payment.
What does that roughly translate to? I know that you can't give me like is that like $1,000? Like
No, not $1,000.
Sorry, I was trying, guys. Really trying.
But it could be a significant amount.
Right.
It could be, $100, $150 to, it's all
adds
gonna
up.
depend. But it adds up when you're saving. Even if it's $39 a month, if you're saving, let's say $39 a month, I mean, you time that times 360 months, or let's say 2 years with,
Right.
worst case scenario, it's still extra money that you're giving your bank on interest.
Absolutely.
But the positive thing about interest is that is all tax deductible at the end of the year. So everything that you put towards your interest, not your principal, but any money that you pay on your mortgage that goes towards your principal at the end of the year, then the lender will send you a 1099 that you can then take that to your accountant and they'll use that as a tax write-off.
That's
Very
one
important.
of
A
the
lot of people don't know, and it is scary, but you do get it back.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Right.
And that's one of the benefits of being a homeowner is that you are able to put that in your taxes. You're not able to do that with rental.
Yeah. Although, when you're renting, you're literally paying the owner's mortgage, but you can't receive any of the benefits. So,
Exactly.
like you said, having that home ownership is important, which is the whole reason why we're here, right? We want to improve the the buyer's experience and help them navigate this process. And help build some legacies. Legacies are definitely created through real estate, Aury, question. So, interest rates were, I think in 2022, we saw interest rates nearly double from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And
I said we started to, the shift started happening somewhere March, April.
Yeah, it
We
was.
started to see that change where, wait a minute, we're on the 3s, we're on the 4, we're on the 5, we're on the 6. Oh, wait, we're on the 7. So
I thought we were going to
scary.
hit 8%. I thought we were going to hit 8%, So when the fall came and we saw rates shot up to 7%, a lot of our buyers were like, whoa, I can't do that. Like they were priced out. The home that they were looking for did not drop in value or in sale price at the same rate that the interest rates went up, right? And so now we saw that in the fall, but now you're saying that interest rates dropped down.
They
right?
dropped, they have dropped a little bit slowly, but they have dropped down.
Has that then translated to an increase in applications on your side?
So I would say that National Banker Association, they did release that, the purchase, the amount of purchases have increased to at least 3%
Okay.
in the last week alone.
The last
So
week.
in the last week alone. So that was really, an improvement compared to the 39% decline that we saw on the previous data.
Wow.
So a 3% increase, it's, significantly high.
And I started seeing this here in Salem.
Okay.
Yes, definitely here in the city of Salem. The median price right now for a single family is $559,000. And they are selling for $20,000 lower. So we have definitely seen a decrease, but it's not a huge decrease.
But we are seeing, and those are the things that I think
in the listing price.
Right.
So because of that, we see that there's still demand for homes out there.
Yeah, it's definitely a seller's market still.
Yeah.
We're seeing that also in the condo market here in Salem. Not as much. The median list price for a condo here in Salem was like $522,000 based on Alto's research, which we use here at the office, right? But then the median sale price was only $520. It's only at $2,000 compared to your $20,000 price drop, right? Which goes to show that this is still a seller's market, right?
Yeah.
However, sellers need to be you need to be on point with your pricing.
Yes.
Because we're seeing data, at least in the condo market, we're seeing data that says that there's like a 33% of the condos listed are having the price readjusted.
Yeah. And the same in the single family, we are seeing 36% price reduction, and the homes are staying longer.
Yes.
It's usually 61 days on the market for a single family home to sell, and it's because there are some sellers, they are not pricing right.
Correct. They're still thinking it's still summer of 2021, 2022, and we're not there.
No, the market's a little more stable now.
Yes.
I think it's stabilizing a little bit. So, you do have to be cautious on how you're pricing your listing. So definitely. But in the positive end for the buyers, I'm seeing, and maybe you can elaborate a little bit more as a real estate agent, but I am seeing more contingencies on my contracts. I'm seeing more seller concessions. So I'm seeing a lot more of that. Inspections that I don't remember how long we went without seeing an inspection. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing a lot more of that on the contracts nowadays. So
and we're seeing also that traffic is slow. I mean, it's winter here, so that's always expected, right? But it's even slower compared to what it was last year, and it has to do with buyers were just like in shock and awe, like what happened here? But as you say, it makes sense what you're saying. Interest rates dropped. We're seeing applications and purchases go up. So yes, we're gearing up for the spring market clearly, but I think buyers are beginning to say, okay, I'm beginning to see where it's going to go, right? Like the Feds, it's rumored that they're going to increase the Fed rate another 25 basis points, right? Which sounds like, oh my God, they're increasing the rate. But they were increasing the rate at 75 basis points.
exactly.
Yeah.
We were like, please stop.
And then the other thing is, Cynthia, that is the rental. Rental here has increased so much that people are start realizing, okay, I'm paying this much rent when I can pay the same amount and sometimes even lower for my property, for a home that is mine.
Yeah.
Here in Salem, the median rental for a single family is $3,000.
That's remarkable.
Wow.
$3,000.
What? The rent in my first apartment with my husband, we lived at the corner of Washington Street, right in front of the Domino's. Our rent was like $950. Mind you, that was like
I was paying like what, in 2013, I was paying $1,300 here in Peabody.
Yeah.
$1,300 for a 3-bedroom.
Good luck. And now if you're
If you just like that for one bedroom apartment, you're in luck.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You might find that with roommates right now. It's crazy.
No, that's not a system no more.
No.
But that's the reality, So why pay somebody else's mortgage when you can pay your own? And I think buyers are more educated now. They're more aware of what is going on and how they can better their lives.
I agree.
So that's really unique and important, especially us, being from Salem and, being that we weren't, our parents didn't own homes.
Nope.
So to see the amount of education that is happening in, the mortgage industry towards our community, it's truly a blessing.
It is. It absolutely is. It's refreshing to, I helped my mom buy a home. You helped your parents, and it's so refreshing to be able to help our parents achieve that, right? And then in the process of doing that, we then see our brothers and sisters and our children, our friends. There's like being a part of that experience and asking questions and being involved, and it's I know I say it ad nauseum, and you probably hate me for it, but it's literally the reason why I created this brokerage, just to be able to expand home ownership, especially in our community, and bring that education.
And I would say that's even the reason why we created the Alianza Group, is first to help, right, our community, not only by acquiring homes, but also educate them about real estate.
Absolutely.
And you guys do so much, though. I mean, this group does so much for the community, and then not just real estate, but you guys are doing some amazing things for the community, and that is really, really priceless. Aside from all of the education that you give towards home buyers and preparing them, you guys are doing a lot more than that. I'm sure they'll touch on another subject.
There's a lot behind the scenes.
I am so proud of what you guys are doing. I mean, I can't wait to see what is to come and, what is going to come out of that Alianza Group and the Nina-Soto Realty. It's just amazing things.
Yeah, it's going to be a great year. We do, Mrs. and I and the entire office, we do a lot of advocacy. I mean, we're constantly, tonight we're going to a conversation about the Latino housing crisis, right? Like, you don't see a lot of people involved in things like that. To us, it's at our core, right? We're not just here to open a door and give you a key. We're here to help and educate and grow our community.
Yeah. And we hope that not only we here in the office, but we hope that every agent out there will have the same mindset.
Yes.
Because we're more than just moving or helping people to move out of one home to another.
Right.
We are part of a community.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is definitely not a transaction-driven realty.
It's not.
It's definitely not, and that's why I think that's why we work so well together. It's just,
It's like a match made in 1998. Now, let me getting back to it. Thank you for all the amazing words. Thank you.
No,
We'll
but
pay
it's
you
true.
later.
It's
No,
true.
I'm kidding.
Pay me later, though.
Actually, you know what? There's your payment right there. Thank you to Lulu's Bakery.
Thank you.
Yes. They gave us tea today. We're trying to kick the habit of coffee. So
I feel like
tea
I had coffee.
she had coffee.
My mom woke up early to make me coffee.
That's a great coffee.
Oh, see, you can't see. If my dad's coming back from Florida, and my dad.
I'm so spoiled.
Oh, I am. My dad will absolutely make me my coffee, and he'll make me my mango and I cannot leave the house without eating my dad's breakfast.
We
So
can wait for him to come. If you're watching.
I'll send him a copy of it so he can see it. I did want to, getting back to the subject of housing and the market. I'm wondering, Aury, seeing the data from MBS, right, and seeing the data that we're seeing here from Altus Research, what do you think is going to happen? I know you can't. You're from Salem, but you don't have a crystal ball, right? But how is the spring going to look like, or how is the summer going to look like? What do you think?
Well, they're projecting that we're going to start seeing improvement. So if that's true, then I know the rates are going to go down. If inflation goes down, the rates are going to go down. And again, it's all driven by the Feds, but I think we're gonna start seeing positive results. I would say probably mid-year, end of year.
I agree.
We're gonna start seeing improvement, and it's gonna start stabilizing a little bit more.
Okay.
I agree. I think,
But you never know.
You never know.
I
Where's the
think-
crystal ball?
Yes, exactly. We are never sure because anything can happen. Like I remember when COVID hit, then we have the war in Ukraine that also affects us here.
Yes.
So there are so many things that affect the market that we are not expecting, right? But based on what we are seeing right now and the data that we have, I think that we, as you said, Aury, is gonna be busy this summer.
Yeah.
And again, every market is different. There are some places where maybe different, but here in Salem, definitely is gonna be busy. Again, the demand is really high.
Yeah.
We are close to Boston. There is not a lot of inventory.
I mean, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I noticed yesterday when Cynthia, we were looking at the numbers, there were so many little few properties here in the city of Salem.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
Specifically.
condos, we had like 14 condos. How many single families we had?
14 too.
Yeah, like
So
13,
that's
14,
like,
14.
you know, how many, you know, the population is growing.
Right.
So
Salem has a
28
population,
properties for the population. I mean,
a
that's
population of almost like 45,000 people here
exactly.
in Salem. Like,
and you
come
have,
on.
yeah, no,
Come
that's-
on, you know.
So the demand, yeah.
But
the demand is
we're
out
seeing
there.
that demand, but you know what I'm seeing also? I'm seeing that buyers who were able to absorb the interest rate hike, right? Buyers that had been looking for a while and were able to make adjustments to their purchase criteria based on the interest rate hike, they're going out further.
Absolutely.
And that market out there, it is like, oh my goodness. Hennessy's, I presented an offer this weekend, okay? We went to go see houses in the Fitchburg, Worcester area with one of our clients. And we presented an offer, $50,000 over asking price. I'm taking those buyers out this weekend because they didn't get the house.
Wow.
Yeah, they had multiple offers.
In this market.
In this market.
Which is slower
Yes.
right now. I think that what we'll see in the summer.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
and it's
agree.
again, we still have a demand for homes.
Yes.
Of course, things have adjusted, prices are being lower, but it's not crazy slow. I think some people thought that the market was gonna crash and we were going to buy homes for $1. Seriously.
We still get calls like that.
It's completely, you know, what's happening in the market today is completely different
Yes.
than what happened back in 2007. So
The loan product
it's
is
not,
entirely
yeah.
different.
No, it's been so, you know, that the banks were so regulated and, you know, we're held very, you know, responsible for everything that we do, for every loan that we give to our borrowers. Like, we are heavily regulated. And those were implementations that took place from that 2007 problem that we faced.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's completely different situation. And I don't think, you know, they might go down a little bit and, you know, and they're gonna stabilize, but we're not gonna see the drop
Right.
because it's a completely different situation than what happened then.
And it's funny that you say that because I'm sure you've seen some of the headlines, right? That, oh, foreclosures are up, you know, blah, blah, blah percent. But what people are forgetting is that COVID hit and there were no
And people were
foreclosures.
buying. People were buying.
There were no
COVID
foreclosures
hit.
happening. Like, so like you couldn't even like show up to a courthouse to file anything, right? So yes, we're seeing foreclosures, but data says that those foreclosures are the foreclosures that were supposed to happen in 2018 and 2019 that didn't happen, right? So of course, when compared to zero, everything looks like a mountain,
Right.
you know. But in Massachusetts, in the entire county, the entire state, foreclosures are down, employment is up, like buyer sentiment is increasing, especially that, like you said, the closer that we are to the
Boston,
city.
yeah. Yeah, and it's exactly what you said. When someone is looking at the market, you need to be looking at the local market
Yes.
because there are not two markets that are not the same. Markets change from state to state, city to city, even from neighborhood
Yes.
to neighborhood. They are not the same. So make sure you are looking at the local market. What is happening in Texas is probably not the
Oh,
same.
definitely.
What is happening here?
Right. Right. And that goes back to what we were saying earlier, is when sellers need to make sure that their pricing is correct, right?
Yeah.
We're seeing price adjustments, right, happening a lot more frequently.
Absolutely.
But you know, one data point that just blew my mind, in the condo market here in Salem, according to Alto's research from last week's data, it shows that 8% of condos were coming back on the market.
Yeah.
Those were condos that received an offer, and for some reason or the other, whether it was home inspection or an appraisal issue or a lending problem, like they're coming back on the market, right?
And those are great opportunities.
Yes.
Those are excellent opportunities for our buyers.
Yes.
Because now you have room to negotiate.
Well, now the seller is just like,
And the
get me
seller's
out of
saying,
this.
you know, yeah, exactly.
Right,
So I need to
yeah.
get out of this. You know, I bought a home. I need to get out of here.
Right.
And so that opens up negotiation terms.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this is where, the buyers do benefit.
Yeah.
So
And we're seeing this not only in condos, but in single families, similar. It's 7%. You are seeing 7% of the homes coming back into the market because of sometimes finance.
Right. And that's, I know we're talking just about Salem today, right? But we can provide any of you with this data for any of our local communities. So if you have a particular city that, you want to know what that data is, definitely put it into the comments below. And we'll make sure, the three of us, to get back to you and share your local market. Because again, forget about the headlines, guys. Just forget about it. Focus on what's happening in your backyard.
City.
Not even your city, in your backyard.
Yeah.
Because like you said, what's happening in South Salem
It's
is
not the
different
same.
than Witchcraft Heights. And it's different than downtown, right?
Absolutely.
Or even the Northfields. Michelle lives over in the Northfields and she can tell us more about that. But it's just, it's different. It's different. And yes, my buyer lost out on that house, right? There were multiple offers.
Crazy.
It's crazy. $50,000. I thought those days were over. But when I asked the agent, I said, how many offers did you receive? I was expecting with a $50K bump like that, maybe she received like 10, 15 offers. Nah, she received 4 offers. Right? Compared to the market that we were in, and we're like, you only got 4 offers? Oh my God, how basic are you, right? Like,
it's true.
it's true. Before you would get 30, 50 offers.
Right.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, which one do I look at?
right, we would be upset if we had our sellers anything lower than 10 offers. Like, we didn't do our job, right? But yes, the market is different by different localities. And like you said, it presents an opportunity for those buyers that have the ability or the willingness to drive out of a region, right? Or to, put down the brass knuckles and negotiate, right? Within reason, of course. You're not going to ask for $100,000 price reduction. You're not going to ask for $15,000 because the light switch isn't working.
No.
It's not that type of buyers.
No, not yet.
guys. We're not there. We're not there, But this also talks about the affordability. You mentioned rents earlier, right? And that affordability gap is really being felt, especially in our blue collar working class communities, right? Like, they are being squeezed, and it's unfortunate, right, that they still have to rent. But the reality is that until those property owners, those investors, until they see a rate drop, there's no room for them to adjust that price. There isn't. So it's very important for buyers or potential buyers, or even renters, of course, to take a look at their current situation and start making a plan, even if it's 2 years out.
Exactly. That's what I always said.
Getting ready, getting prepared. Know what you if you qualify, know what you qualify for, and feel comfortable with that payment. So I think as long as you're comfortable with that payment, the interest rate, it's gonna be irrelevant.
Right.
Depending on your situation. Yes, there's buyers that are more focused on interest, but then there are buyers that really want a home, and I think that the key factor for them is going to be, can I afford to make that payment?
Exactly.
Yeah, we all know that interest rates, are gonna get back to normal eventually. How long is that gonna take? We don't know.
Right.
Anything can happen. But when that does happen, those buyers that were able to buy now that can afford to make those payments are gonna be in a much happier, better situation, better place in their life once they're able to lower those payments. But in the meantime, can you afford it? Are you gonna be comfortable making those payments? And I think that's gotta determine whether or not you can move forward with your plans, or if you're not ready, like you say, get ready, learn what you need to do to get ready.
Absolutely.
Prepare yourself.
Absolutely. It's gonna be an awesome year.
It's gonna be.
It really is. You know, look forward to these conversations every week. I can't promise you that Aury will be here every week.
But they can reach out to me directly.
How do they find you?
They can find me everywhere. They can find me on my website. They can call me directly. I mean, we'll put the information out for you guys to see it, but everything's on there. Always available. If I'm not available, text me. I'll call you back. But I'm always pretty usually respond to my
Send
calls
her a
and my
text.
text message.
That's
Text
how you
messages
get-
are the best.
That's how you get her. You send her a text and a pretty picture, and then she'll love it. Cuidado.
No, wait.
Cuidado. I take that back, actually. I take that back. All the trolls are gonna be sending pictures. Stop it. She's married, okay? Stop it. But no, she's absolutely very accessible. You
Yes,
know, I would say at all times, but you know, she needs family time too.
Most
guys.
of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Aury, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me on your first episode. Such an honor.
It's always nice to see you.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Any final words, my friend, before we let them go?
Make sure you subscribe if you like this content. We are going to be here every week, as Cynthia said. Follow us, not on the street.
Yes.
No.
Don't follow the street, please.
That will be creepy.
You're strange, guys.
I just said to follow you.
No, not like that.
Why?
Not like that. Okay, I can only take pictures. We don't want those pictures either. But don't follow us on the street.
No.
Follow
us on Instagram, on Facebook. We are gonna leave everything below
Yeah.
so that you can find us.
Absolutely. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Peace out. Talk to you guys later. Bye.